Hello guys, my name is Ebube and welcome to my YouTube channel. So on today's tutorial, I want to show you guys on how I converted this blouse right here to an A-line dress. Okay, so this is my mom's top or blouse, but she doesn't want it anymore, and it's not as if it's worn out. As you can see, it's still very neat. It's not worn out, just that she doesn't want it, and I decided to use it to make something for my 3-year-old. So let's get started. Alright guys, so the first thing I'm going to do right now is to cut this open. Okay, I'm just going to cut it open like you see me doing like this. So guys, I'm done cutting it out. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to fold, and I'm folding right side facing right side, and I'm folding the back and the front together. I'm going to cut it together because the back won't have a zip or a zipper. It's going to have a button, so I'm going to be cutting it together. So like after folding it, the next thing I'm going to do is to use my pressing iron to give it a good press, just to lay it down. And that is what I'm going to do right now. So guys, I'm done pressing it with my pressing iron. The next thing I'll do right now is to use my pin to hold it down because I don't want it moving when I'll be cutting. So guys, right now we are going to take our measurements, and this is the measurement that I'll be working with. So the first thing I'll do right now is to draw a starting line. So right now I'm going to draw a starting line. And after this, the next thing I'm going to do is to take my shoulder measurements. And the shoulder measurement I'm working with is 9.5 inches. I'm going to divide it into two. I'm going to divide it into two and mark. And I'm going to add 1/2 inch for the joining allowance, because it's going to have a cap sleeve. And after that, the next thing I will do is to take our neck measurements. The neck width is going to be 2 inches. I'm going to take 2 inches for the neck width, while the neck depth is also going to be 2 inches. I'm going to give it a round curve, just as you see me doing like this. And for the back neckline, this is for the front neckline. For the back neckline, I'm going to come down here by 1 inch and also give it a curve. And after this, the next thing I'm going to do is to take our shoulder slope. I'm going to come here by 1/2 inch. I'll use my ruler to connect it. The next thing I'm going to do now is to take our armhole measurements. The armhole I'm working with is 4.5 inches. I'm going to mark it 4.5 inches right on this line, the shoulder slope line. I'm going to draw a straight line across. And on this part, I'm going to mark whatever we have on our shoulder. I'm going to mark it here just to get a straight line, so I can connect the armhole. And after that, I'm going to insert the bust measurements, and the bust measurement I'm working with is 22 inches. I'm going to divide 22 inches divided by 4. (22 inches divided by 4), and I'm going to mark it right here. And after that, because it's an A-line dress, it's not supposed to be tight, I'm going to add 1.5 inches for ease and allowance. The next thing I'm going to do now is to find the midpoint of this armhole. The 4.5, I'm going to look for the midpoint. And I'm going to come in here. I'm going to mark the midpoint. You mark, and you come in by 1/2 inch. And then we'll curve our armhole. Give it a curve like so. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to take our gown measurement. For the gown measurement, I'll be using all of it. So it's already the desired length that I want. It's 20 inches. It's supposed to be 19 inches, but it's 20 inches. I'm not going to be cutting off this part. But if you are working with a fresh material, you're going to, after marking your gown length, you're going to add 1 inch or 1.5 inches just to fold in like so for hemming the gown. But this part is already hemmed, so I'm not going to add any other thing to it. It's already giving me the desired length that I want, so I'm just going to leave it like this. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to measure this part. I'm going to measure this part, whatever I have right here. I'm going to take it and come to the down part and place it. You measure whatever you have right here. You place it at the down part of the gown. Then after doing that, you add 3 more inches to it for the A-line effect. Okay, and you connect it to this place. The gown is already curved. If you're using a fresh material, this is what you do after connecting this part. You're just going to come in by 1 inch like this, and you give it a curve all the way to the middle. But I'm not doing that because this part that I'm using is already hemmed, so I'm just going to leave it like this. So the next thing we are going to do now, before we cut out, I'm going to add an allowance for my shoulder. I'm going to add allowance at the shoulder, just 1 inch allowance for joining the shoulder. And we are going to cut out our gown. I'll have to take off the pearls because they are going to obstruct me while cutting. So guys, I need you to pay attention to this part. So when I come here right now, I'm going to cut on this neckline, the first one. This first one, I'm going to cut like this. See? After cutting this first one, then I'm going to take off my pins and show you the next thing to do. I'm just going to drop this part because this is the back part. And now I'm going to cut off this other line, and this one is for the front. This is the front piece actually, while this is the back piece. So guys, I'm done cutting it, and I'm just going to open it up and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so this is our gown. This is what it looks like right here. So right now I'm just going to fold it and keep it aside, so we'll work on the sleeve. So guys, I'll be using this right here for the sleeve. I'm just going to cut it open just the same way I cut the gown part open. So I'm going to measure out the length of the sleeve that I want. And I'm going to measure 3.5 inches. I'm going to cut it out. This is one sleeve. I'm going to cut out another one, making it two. And after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to use my curve. Place my curve like this. Let me just pin it down. Okay. So I'm just going to place my curve like this. Come up here by 1 inch. Place my curve. And I'm going to cut it out. If you don't have a curve, you can use your free hands to do it, okay? It's actually very easy to make. So this is our sleeve. The next thing I'm going to do on the sleeve is to hem it, okay? I'm going to hem the sleeve. I'm just going to fold in, just as you see me doing like this. I'm going to fold in, take it to my sewing machine and hem this part, okay? You fold in with 1/4 inch and fold in again with another 1/4 inch. I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to hem it, and I'll bring it back and show you guys what it looks like, and I'll tell you the next thing to do with the sleeve. You can actually use your pin to hold it down. Then when you take it to your machine, as you sew, as you stitch on it, you take off the pins. I'm going to hem it right now and I'll bring it back and tell you guys the next thing to do. Alright guys, so now we are going to work on the neckline. But before we do that, we are going to slit the back piece. And this is because this gown doesn't have a zip. I said it earlier that it's going to have a button. So what we are going to do right now is to slit this back. So I'm just going to slit it with 4.5 inches. I'm going to mark 4.5 inches at the center. You see, at the center, I'm going to mark 4.5 inches. Now I'll use my scissors to cut it down to this part that I marked. So after doing this, just going to set it aside. And this. So the next thing to do now is to use this bias tape right here. I'll be using this bias tape to pipe the neck. Just in case you don't know how to do that, I'm just going to quickly show you on how to do that. You're going to place the bias tape like this on the right side, just as you see me doing like this. You place it on the right side and you pin it down. I'm pinning it down so I can just show you. You can also pin it down. If you're a beginner, you should pin it down. Then when you take it to your sewing machine, as you stitch on it, you take off the pins. As you stitch, you take off the pins. So this is how to use a bias tape. When you place it like this, then you stitch on this place. After stitching it, then you top stitch again on this part like this. You top stitch right here. Then after top stitching right there, you flip it to this side. You see, you flip it to this side and you stitch. That is how to do it. See, I'm going to do that for this part, and I'll bring it back and show you guys what it looks like. And for this, I'm also going to do the same. I'm also going to use this bias tape to pipe the neck. But when I get to this point, I'm going to cut out a button loop. Okay, you're going to cut out a button loop and attach it to it. That's where you're going to put the button. You're going to cut out something like this. Okay, you just cut out something like this. That is going to be your loop. You cut out something like this. Okay, and I go back to my sewing machine. I'm going to make my button loop, and I'm going to come back and show you guys what it looks like. This is what you're going to place to this place. Okay, this is going to be for the button. Okay, for the button. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. So my sleeve is ready, and I've gone ahead to make gathers on this. Okay, I made gathers on this one, and I've also hemmed the sleeve. So I'm going to use this needle and this thread right here to show you on how I achieve this. I'm just going to open up and make my gathers, and I'm going to secure one end of the sleeve, just as you see me doing like this. When I secure one end of the sleeve, and I make my gathers. So guys, our back piece is ready, and my pressing iron almost got it burnt here. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to join the shoulders. And after joining the shoulders, I'm joining just the shoulders. After joining the shoulders with 1/2 inch, I'm going to bring it back and show you how to attach the sleeves. So guys, I've joined the shoulders and I gave it a good press. And right here, we are going to attach the sleeve. But before we attach the sleeve, we are going to take our measurements to know where the sleeve is going to stop, okay, to know the length of the sleeve. So in order to achieve that, what we are going to do is to mark half an inch, because I'll be using half an inch to join the side later, the side of the dress. I'll be using half an inch to join it. I'm just going to come right here and mark half an inch, okay? And I'm going to mark it for both sides, for the both sides, half an inch, all right? Then after marking half an inch, I'm going to place my tape right here at the shoulder, and I'm going to take the measurements. And the measurements I'm going to take is going to stop at these points that I marked. These points that I marked, you see, and mine is 6 inches. I'm just going to take it again to be sure. Mine is 6 inches. So I'm going to divide this 6 inches into two, just like this. And I'm going to place it. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And I'm just going to place it right here on my shoulder. And I'm going to mark it 3 inches. I'm going to mark the 3 inches, okay? I'm going to mark it both for the front and for the back. Just as you see me doing like this, I'm going to do the same thing this side. I'm just going to mark 3 inches on this side. So after marking our 3 inches line, the next thing we are going to do right now is to open up. So when we open up, we are going to take our sleeve and place it right side facing right side at the line that we marked. As you can see, you see, right side facing right side. This is the right side, and this is also the right side. And I'm going to place it at these points that I marked, and place it here too. These 2 points that I marked. I'm going to pin it down. I'm going to pin it down and go over to my sewing machine and stitch it. And I'm going to use my bias tape to finish it up, to pipe it. And when I'm going to pipe it, it's going to start from here. Use my bias tape, start from here, pipe it all the way to this place. So I'll take it to my sewing machine right now, and I'm going to stitch with half an inch, okay? Half an inch. So guys, I've worked on my armhole and I finished it off with a bias tape. So I'm just going to go over to my sewing machine right now, and I'm also going to use my bias tape to show you on how I did this one. But before we do that, I have a bow tie right here. I made a bow tie, and I also have this. So what I need for this dress is two bow ties, okay? So I'm just going to show you guys on how I made this one. All you have to do is just to cut out something like this. You cut out your desired size. This is actually the size that I want. And right here, I also have a strap, a pink strap, just to add a little bit of color to the dress. So you cut out a piece like this, right side facing right side. I'm just going to use my scissors to trim off. So make sure I have a straight line. And after that, I'm going to pin it. I'm going to pin it down, take it over to my sewing machine and stitch. So guys, I'm done pinning it down. So the next thing I'll do right now is to stitch it with quarter of an inch. I'm just going to stitch with quarter inch all the way to this side. And as you can see, I left 1 inch in the middle, at the center. I left 1 inch for turning it. So you're just going to leave 1 inch at the center of it. So after stitching, the next thing I'm going to do is to turn this out. I'm just going to use what I have right here on my hands to do that. After turning it, I'm going to close this up right now. I'm just going to set this aside so we can work on our armhole. So first of all, I'm going to measure out the tape, the bias tape that I'll be needing. I'm just going to measure it like this. Now place it this way. I'm going to use my pin to hold it down, and I'm going to stitch right on this folded part, okay? Right here. I'm going to stitch here, the side that is folded, and stitch all the way from here to here. So guys, after this, I'm going to top stitch, okay? Now I'm going to top stitch. You see, I'm going to stitch on this part, here, 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 all the way to this side, just as you see me doing. So after this, the next thing to do now is to use your pressing iron, okay? I'll go over to my table and I'm going to use my pressing iron to give it a good press, okay? From here to here. And I'll bring it back and we'll do the final stitch. So I use my pin to pin it down, okay? And right now we are going to stitch. As we are done stitching, and the next thing to do is just to give it a good press. So guys, right now I'm going to stitch the size of our gown, okay? And I'm going to stitch with 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do right now is just to mark 1/2 inch, and I'll take it to my sewing machine and stitch. Just make sure that everything is aligned before you stitch. So I'm just going to mark 1/2 inch, okay? 1/2 inch all the way down. So guys, our gown is finally ready, and the last thing to do is just to attach these bow ties that we made. I'm just going to use my needle and my thread that I have right here to attach it. I'm just going to place it like this. Okay. So if you find this video helpful, please do well to subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share, and turn on the notification bell so whenever I post a new video, you'll be the first to know. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.